Okay, well, hello, my fellow Bavarians. This is going to be a very quick message because I'm getting ready to go out to have some lunch here with my friends, Brian Watt and Andy Crispin. I'm supposed to go eat someplace right now, but I needed to do this because I don't have a printer, so I have to put a little bit of the message here that I'm going to give over there. So this is just to give an entry. Later on tonight, I'll finish it. But has to do with the title of it, The Powerhouse. I was thinking of the best way of describing, what at the time when David wrote, the Proverbs 18:10. I believe I see it in a minute. You're going to see it in a minute. It says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower." When he used strong tower, those are the meaning of Alefbeth. Strong and a tower, a house. But he was referring to something, like the Arsenal place. Hey Andy, I'm gonna be there pretty soon. I'm here with Brian already, but I'm setting this up so we can have something to talk about when I get there to eat the lunch with you guys. So this is gonna be quick. I don't think I'm gonna do this for a whole hour. In any case, so he thought of the name of the Lord is a strong tower. It's like a place, where all the weapons with all the arsenal, with a place that you're kept safe, so the righteous run into it and are safe, so they're protected. But I was thinking of what's the best word that I can use for our time that people understand, and I thought powerhouse, okay, because the word Aleph also stands for power, okay. Elohim, that's Aleph, and the Lamed, that's powers. It's translated Elohim, or El, which is God in Hebrew, means powers, okay, so perfect. So then I came across and I thought of this powerhouse. And I thought I would share this, with the thing of the powerhouse. The strong tower for our time is going to be the powerhouse. Because when it comes to powerhouse, people understand what that means. I'll explain that in a minute here. So the powerhouse generates or gives birth or produces powerhouse optimizers. Okay? In other words, and that's what the meaning of Alefbethisizers is. We are going to be Alefbethisizers from the point of view if we were made for the Alefbet, which is the powerhouse, because the alphabet is the powerhouse of everything made. The alphabet rearranged can create manuals for refrigeration, can create manuals for engineering, can create manuals for chemistry. The Alefbet, the alphabet, is the powerhouse for everything that exists. But we're going to talk about it in a minute. So we're going to see it from that perspective. So you'll understand what is our true inheritance, and you have the power to claim your true position, okay? Now, something in the Bible, it says that my people are destroyed. It doesn't say people are destroyed because of lack of faith. Never says that. It says people are destroyed because of lack of belief. It doesn't say that. People are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. The Torah gives you knowledge for the here and now. You don't need to have some belief. I'm going to tell you something, and I dare you to go against it, because this is knowledge that can irrefutable understanding. Once you understand what it means and what God made you to, He is the powerhouse. He is the strong tower. All right. So I'm going to explain that to you here in a minute here. And so the powerhouse generates powerhouse optimizers or Alefbethisizers. Okay. So let me take you to this window here, where I'm going to be doing all indicating right now, and I see some people in here. Yeah, Brian is next door. That's funny. Yeah, he's watching it too. All right, okay, perfect, you guys. All right, we're doing fine. Let me get to this window that I wanted to share this thing with you guys here quick, because we're gonna be looking at this. So, as it says here, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. Okay, as you understand here, let me get to this thing here. Let me move this here a little bit. All right. So you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to, here we put the whole thing so you can see it. Yeah. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. There we go. I want to make sure you guys get the whole picture there. All right. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. So this strong tower I'm talking about, Alefbeth, we're going to look at it and think of it as a powerhouse, because that's really what it stands for. So that's for our time, a powerhouse. And so we're going to look at how it is defined, the word powerhouse here. Let's see if I can get to that. I'm going to have to skip a few things in here. I'm sorry to get to that because a lot of stuff I put in here. Okay, powerhouse definition. Okay, here we go. Powerhouse definition, it says, the definition of a powerhouse is a powerful or energetic person or a building that creates electric power. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, one that possesses great force or energy. Okay, that's also, they call that a power plant is equivalent. So all this could represent a powerhouse. It's a powerful person, that person is a force to reckon with. They call them a powerhouse. So that's one way of describing it here. The other definition here, powerhouse, country, organization, or person with a lot of influence. So if you're an influencer, you call a powerhouse. If you fill up with a lot of ideas, you're a powerhouse of ideas. So it's a very powerful word in the sense that it talks about, you are an electric personality kind of a person. You're an energizer, because that's what a powerhouse does, the real thing. But what got me to think was this. I'm going to share it with you right now, and I hope you get able to listen. But this is what got me to think of using this word. I remember most of you have seen The Matrix, I hope. So I'm going to share a little portion from The Matrix here. And yeah, this is going to be it. Let me share this part.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole.
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neil?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
All right, so that's it. That's basically what I wanted to share. That link close that part. All right, so you see what he saw at the end? It showed a battery, right? So, but in that movie, the only thing I have against the movie is that he needs to become the one by believing that he's the one. Okay, you can know who is the one, and then you can reflect the one. And that's what the Torah speaks. That's the difference between the Torah. It can teach you who is the one, Echad, because in Hebrew the word one is Echad, and the interesting thing is, so I was thinking, so if he was a battery, then anybody will understand. If you are what does the battery do? It's the electricity. It's the energy that animates the whole society. If you are the battery of any economy, what is that telling you? That without you, that economy is not animated and it's not activated. The energy is what gives life to everything else. You know that General Electric used to have, we bring good things to life. That was used to be the logo because they're electric, they animate everything. So the whole idea is, if you are just a cell, just an electric, you know, you have the power. You have a great power. All the city is going to be animated by you because you are the one that activates it and animated. You bring it to life. So where's my due respect? If I'm the one animating you, if I'm the one causing you to be activated, how come you're not giving me my due respect? I am your animator after all. So this is the thing that I need to understand. So if you are the energy producing, you know, you are the activator of the society. That's exactly why I thought of the term powerhouse or power plant. Okay? God made his garden with all the different plants, but we are the power plant of his word. And we are, you know, word powered. You know, like you hear things that are solar powered or wind powered. We are dabar powered. We are powered by the word. And we are not just a simple battery. We are just a power plant, a powerhouse like nothing else. Like nothing else has ever been made. Because imagine your little cell phones and your phone, once they started charging by themselves, they will get off your little cell phone and they'll go out and plug themselves in to get activated. And then when they're dying, they can generate more. So this is the kind of people that we are. We are the energy. That's why I say that the retarded garden is run by manpower. When I say that, it's because we are the ones that bring up all the buildings off the grounds, you know, build up the ceilings, the ground floor, put the products in there, manufacture the products, wrap them up. So it's all done by manpower. So we are the batteries that run all the societies in the world. And the elites know that you are the power behind everything. You are the generation, you are the power generator for all their economies. All they have to give you the schematics, give you the blueprint, and because you're word power, you know what to do as soon as you get understanding. But you're not giving, you know, the credit that is due for what you're able to do. If you are the one that animates a society, you're the one that activates an economy, you should be respected above all. Because you're the one that produces all the things that they need to be produced. But they don't give you the credit that is due to you because they have not introduced you to the powerhouse. The powerhouse for us is the Alefbeth, the Father, okay? And this is the thing that I'm trying to share with you. So if you recognize, you know, if you begin to recognize, you know, that society and everything, all the economies that man has made cannot run without manpower. Therefore, you know, I'm going to give you different examples here. This is called the Powerhouse Science Center. You know, this little one here. Okay, these are things that share the word powerhouse. Powerhouse Science Center. This is powerhouse here is another word that people use. This is another building. It's called the Powerhouse Company. Okay, and because, you know, they produce electricity there. It's not a powerhouse company. Okay, so these are different samples of the powerhouse, and I use the logo from there. And Powerhouse Middle School. Even at middle school, they call itself a powerhouse. Okay, so, you know, that's another powerhouse. Designers, you know, powerhouse engines. So you manufacture of engines. Powerhouse, you know, the mitochondria, which is the cell in you, in your body. That's the powerhouse of your body, is the mitochondria. So even that is included in there. So they produce energy. So the Powerhouse, the 2 parlor. So they use this name for a lot of stuff, you know. So what it comes down to, you know, is that behind everything, so Powerhouse is something that makes you a shaker, a mover, you know, that makes you be an administrator, makes you be somebody that gets things done. So that's why everything created, you know, everything that is in every little app in your cell phone is a powerhouse in the sense that it gets things done for you. And it has an Alefbeth, has a building, a strong tower or building, you know, behind everything made, there's a building where it's being generated, what's being made. So it has a pictorial thing of it. But behind that is the people with the knowledge of it that keep it running. So in the end, it's the alphabet that everybody has to learn the right order of the words that is the powerhouse for everything. You understand? And that's what God wants you to come to understanding. If he is the powerhouse that runs everything, and you are word power, then you are the second below him. The alphabet, the Alefbeth is the highest, then you who are empowered by that, you're the second. And everything that comes out of you, everything that you can generate into this world is subservient. You are the master of it. And that's what has happened to our society, is that we have forgotten, that all governments are man-made. And all governments, the problem is that we give them the wrong name. They're all servants. They're public servants. Government means control of mind. They're not there to control the mind, but because you give them that title, when they begin to control your mind, don't complain because you gave them that title. You need to realize that you are the gods above them. You are the giver of direction. When you form a government for your country, you set up constitutions, you give them directions. And they have to keep them according to the fathers. The fathers are always the powerhouse that made them, right? So you have to stay in the mindset of the powerhouse, or otherwise the country runs out of system. You don't know the Constitution, you are out of the Aleph Father. All right? I was going to sing the song here, but this is the whole idea. We got to start claiming what is truly ours. We are the powerhouse because we are Alefbeth empowered. Okay? And then everything that comes out of us is below us. Never be so foolish as to think that we need any government whatsoever. Because then you're saying that the word power is only the word empowerment that you need. And when you realize that you are the powerhouse, then you begin to be a powerhouse optimizer. You're always watching out that the character of God, because that was your first economy for which you were created, is manifested out of you. You carefully take care of all the words. And then anywhere you go, you can work for anybody and everything, but they better not dare think that they are above you. You are the one activating the products. You are the one doing everything with the word that they have given you. So therefore, the time is coming, and now it is. But this is going to turn upside down. The external value that's been given to everything from gold to paper money is going to be distinguished because we are the value generating entity. We are the ones that get the knowledge, and we are the ones that activate a company. We are the ones that animate everything. So we are the value generating entity. Not a piece of coin, not a piece of gold, nothing. All of that is going to lose the value. Because God has given me understanding to be that stone that was going to break all the economies. From the head of gold, everything is going to be pulverized. And what we are in the Alefbeth, in the powerhouse, is the only thing that's going to matter. I want to explain more of that today, later on this afternoon when I come back, because this is just getting me rolling. It's getting me all exciting. But I'm going to introduce you to the powerhouse. So you will be the powerhouse optimizer. All right. So let me close here with this a little commercial here quickly. Let me see, and then we're going to go out to eat. Let me get ready to... Well, hello, my fellow Davarians. That means your power, your Davar power by the word. The entrance of thy word, give it energy, give it light. And that light is an understanding unto the simple. So we are referring to the Alefbeth from now on as a powerhouse, because that's the equivalent in our time for it. A powerhouse is the strong tower for our time. And I spoke earlier about this today, earlier in the day, and I'm going to continue right now. Let me see if I get a chance. I know some of you have to go sleep early. I understand you have to do that, but this will be here for the whole week for you to enjoy. But this is some news, my friends, news about, what we are, in the face of the Alefbeth, the strong tower, the father of all creation, and to have, to be in that mindset, to have that fellowship, and that's why I'm sharing with you. I mean, I don't know where to start to tell you so many things, so much understanding that has been open to me, but I'll share as best as I can, and so right now we're going to do a little bit of what I said over there at the Four Seasons, because those that are planted, in the word and the delight in the Torah day and night, they are fully energized by him all 4 seasons. That's why we go and celebrate a little gathering at the 4 seasons, because we're ready to enter, to present the Alefbeth, the strong tower, the powerhouse to all creation at any moment notice. We are the power plant for all seasons. That's what our souls are. All the plants have their different functions, but the soul is the power plant because it was made in the image of the powerhouse, and he can deliver his electric current of understanding, of connectivity to all of creation. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of what went there at the restaurant, and then we'll get into the lesson for the rest of the lesson for today. So this is what I talked about at the 4 seasons, a meditation on Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, and then I'll expound a little bit on that. But it's almost at 9.5 minutes. Here we go. So a little bit of meditation from Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. Alright, let me set this up. My cohort here, Andy, Brian. Alright, let me see if I can just put it right here, set it up.
Put on the cup. Put on the cup.
I want it to fall in there, though.
No, you can't.
Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright.
If you don't use it.
Yeah. You want to make sure to. Okay, I think we got it there. Now we're looking at, because this is a verse that a lot of churches use, all the time. That's why I like to talk about it. It says, Hosea, which means Hosea has the same meaning of Isaiah, by the way. He saves, so God is my salvation. They both have the same meaning. In any case, but verse 6 it says, my people, Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the Torah, the law, the Torah of thy God. I will also forget thy children. Okay, so it says, but the thing is, they don't explain what it says in the Hebrew when it comes to the word, my people are destroyed. Okay, people is am. For Hebrew was people or nations. And destroyed is the word DAMAH. And DAMAH is to be silenced or to be caused to be quiet. And so it's just as good, if you don't have knowledge to answer back to somebody when you don't know what they're doing to you, then your sound is just as good as being dead and destroyed. It's just like they like to have those rap wars in which the better rapper and that can destroy you, so you don't have anything to answer because they have destroyed your reputation so bad. So that's the whole idea here. It's not destroyed necessarily physically, but it's that you lack the knowledge to be able to answer back. So That means if you don't have a certain knowledge, for example, when it comes to the care of this country, a lot of people say, they're going to steal, this nation from us. I joined this group called Stop the Steal because I do understand that people want to help President Trump with what's going on right now. But the fact is that what has been stolen from us, and not just in this election, but a long time ago, way before Moses, even in the time of Egypt and prior to that, and still been going on. There was a little lapse of time for 40 years that the people of Israel were not on the same system. But then again, they went back and rejoined the same system. And there is the system of the external value, okay? We have a world that is driven by external values. That means they believe that the patent office is valuable. They believe that money is valuable. They believe that diamonds are valuable. So the whole value system is an external value system, something that is found out here in the domain of the dust. Okay, but the fact is that all these things, whether it be paper money, whether it be gold, diamond, gem, jewelry, anything like that, they only get their value from us giving it to them. Humans beings have to project it to those things. And so there you go. And these things are only, when you find a diamond, in the rough that is not being, curved and all nicely polished, what do you think is going to polish it? Is it going to do it by itself? People, mankind does it. Everything in our economies is manpower. It's run by the power of man. All right, and man is powered by words. Our souls are word power. There's such thing as solar power for certain things, wind power for other things. But for the soul, it's word power. So once the soul understands what it's supposed to do with a word, it becomes a magnificent powerhouse because it's able to construct whatever that word is telling it to construct if he's got the understanding to do it. So you understand that therefore the soul is a magnificent value generating entity. So all value starts with the soul because it's the one that gives birth to everything that exists in society. So the moment that we forget that all sorts of all things come from the word having entered our soul, and the soul being able to be animated to do what that word says, and we don't value that word as above all things because it's what enables us to be an activator in this world. When we ignore the word for being the powerhouse that it is, then the rest of the world will ignore us and our soul for being the powerhouse that it is when it's indwelled with the word. That's how it comes down to. You reject, you fail to give the Alefbeth, the alphabet, the honor that it deserves, then you also lose it and you never get it yourself. So whatever we do to the Alefbeth, that's exactly what happens to us. So it has to come back to that again. We have to return back to the Alefbeth and recognize that's the only power in the world because everything comes from words. Our DNAs are a source code, they are a word. The RNA in plants, they're a source code, they are a word. And God uses every word to empower everything. Everything is run by words. In the organic world and in the inorganic world. We are in this economy that is not like the organic world. They cannot self-replicate, they cannot self-duplicate. But nonetheless, we are the manpower. By the words that are telling us how to run things, we are the ones that enable this economy to exist. And whenever anybody in this economy comes and does not give you the honor that is due to the Alefbeth that is in you, is because they themselves have been programmed one generation after another to go with the same stupid logic. They don't see it. So it takes the Torah, see? So that's why it says here, when you forget the Torah, you forget my law, I will forget your children. That means your next generation are going to be just as stupid as you are because you were stupid to leave the meaning, the value system that you gave to the Torah, so they forgot that. And so the people that are outside of them, they keep thinking, making them look at the value of the externalities, and the externalities have no value whatsoever because their governments have no value whatsoever because the Constitution is written by man. And governments supposed to be, they say that they are public servants, but we give them the name of government, which means mind controllers, and that's exactly what they do to you. Why are you so stupid to give them that name to begin with? Okay, so the complaint where they're doing the stuff that you named it to be, that I'm going to choose my mind controller, and when they're controlling your mind, you don't like it. Well, hey, why do you give them that name? You should just stuck to, you're gonna be my butler, you're gonna be my steward, but don't give them you're gonna be my, mind controller, because that's what government means. So when they control your mind, you gave them that title. You were not smart enough to think that that's going to be some effect to give you that title, but that's exactly what happens to you. Your choices come to bite you in the butt. So you got to be careful with the words that you use. So that's what I'm using now for our time. That the powerhouse, the Alefbeth, is our powerhouse. Are we going to dwell in it all the time? And if we are aware to always give the highest credit to that, then nobody can bamboozle us and make us believe otherwise. Because I know that I'm empowered by words, and by words I'm able to do everything. And once I follow the order of words, everything is at my disposal. And and I dare you to tell me that is you need to have some faith to believe in that. That's the facts. That's how things are. That's why the Torah is the knowledge of your Maker, the knowledge of knowing how He works in all situations, how that brings sense making to everything. All right. So I'm going to put this up there, and then I'm going to say some more. All right. All right. So there you see it, There you have it. So up there, now you understand the Alefbeth up there, the first two letters, the Aleph, and then the Beth all the way to the top, That means Father, which I'm calling it Powerhouse now. And the whole idea, I was explaining there at the end, that people create governments. When men get together, people that have a good mind upon their shoulders, they make constitutions, and then they write bylaws. And that's something that the people can get together and live by those bylaws. So anything that you make that is going to be a servant to your cause, you got to remember that the people that are going to take those offices are going to be your servants, your stewards, your butlers, The thing is, you give them the word government, and government means mind control. Governs to control, and mente from mente in Latin is mind. Okay? And so, now the thing is, everybody likes to be controlled by a knowledge that's going to make them rich. Like all people are always buying all kinds of book, how to get rich quick kind of things. You do this, secret things, and you're going to make so much money. So they want to, if somebody gets rich, they want to be controlled by the knowledge of that guy had to make them rich. So everybody wants the knowledge that's beneficial for them, and they want to be controlled by that knowledge. If that knowledge is going to give them success according to what they call success, right? Everybody does that. When people want to become engineers, what are they saying? I want my mind to be controlled by the education of engineering. You want to become whatever, an accountant, I want my mind to be controlled by accounting. Anything that you want to become to be profitable, you're asking to be controlled by that knowledge. So it's okay. So do not lie to yourself that you don't like my control, because you do like to be controlled by the knowledge that is going to make you profit in this world. Everybody does. So everybody goes into any career or want to do anything because they think that knowledge is going to make them earn some profit and be profitable to mankind. So they don't mind being controlled by that knowledge. But the first thing you need to understand is you need to start by being controlled by the knowledge of your Maker. Because when you come to the powerhouse, okay, the one that created all things, the one that keeps running everything, because everything is made from the alphabet, and that's when we lose sight of God. God is found in the very letters that all languages are spoken, on all the languages. Because everything is made of the alphabet, or Alefbeth as it's called in the Hebrew. That's what is running everything. Every rearrangement of the alphabet is what makes different things, in the world. All the things that are made, all the inventions are only different rearrangements of the alphabet, because everything comes from the alphabet. So what is it that you get when you got instructed from the Alefbeth? Now the Alefbeth, which means father in Hebrew, he is the father of all words. He's always taking care of words. He always knows everything in the fullness of the definition. He knows you and I. He knows what DNA code he made for me. And he knows what DNA code he made for you. And he's always keeping it going. And he knows the sequence of it every moment of existence. Because that's what he loves. That's what he shows. That's what he shows himself to be God. Because he knows that only by keeping words, that creation continues to exist. And people that work in the capacity of owners and creators in this world of the dust, they understand that's only by keeping the words of the manual that the businesses is kept going. It kept renewed, it kept restored, it kept the maintenance. So if you come to God and you understand, you develop the love for words that he has. And you understand that from the perspective of the Creator, the only reality for everything that exists is found in the word that tells the order of it. Okay, and the sequence of it. So the Alefbeth, the alphabet to God is it. It's the main thing. There's nothing else. So if you live like that, you're never going to be dominated by any creature that God has made. Because you will only develop a love for words, so you will understand the character of God first. You will inherit his mindset to love words and the order of words. So that you will have a character that does not consider anything that's come out of the dust as true reality. That is just Maya or an illusion. Because dust is always in circulation. Even your own body. You're dropping dry cells every day and new ones are being created. The cell is always, in multiplication. It's always multiplying. So you can even hold on to your own cells. By the time you go up to 70 or 80, you've gone through maybe 8 or 9 bodies that you have shed in circulation of your cells, because your cells circulate. New ones are created, all ones fall off. So people want to hold on to the physical, they can even hold on to their own cells. The only thing you can hold on to is words. Okay? Once you have them and you enjoy them and you love them, you keep them forever. And God is all about words. Okay? Because he's the creator of everything. And everything that says, from A to Z. Remember that word that appears 7,302 times, in the Tanakh? That's Aleph Tab, which means A to Z, and it's never translated, not even like that in English, because they said there's no equivalent in English. Of course there's equivalent in English. It means A to Z. Why don't you just put that? But you think, it doesn't make sense if we just write that. Well, just write it the way God showed us. Whoever has the mind to understand will understand it, and he will explain to the rest. Good thing I'm getting into the Hebrew. I would never discover that. But it's there. 7,302 times he says a lot of things. He created the heavens and the earth from A to Z. Meaning he's interested in the order of words whenever he's saying that. So everything is about the words. So you got to be in the mindset of loving words. He says, unless the Lord, because the bar to God is the Lord. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build it. Unless you follow the schematics and the blueprints, you're not going to build anything. All right? So once you come to understanding and you want the heart of God, you want the mind of God for that, then that's your only reality. So you're holding on to the fullness of everything. If you have plenty of time in this world, you learn how to make cars. You make your own car. You learn how to make your own iPhone. And you'll make everybody's things function. You will be a Shangri-La, a cornucopia, if you please. A shalom means abundance. Peace means abundance. Because when there's abundance, there's no war. If you only live to treasure words and the fullness of definition and meaning, my friend, you're going to be the richest person upon the face of the earth. With most friends. Because you're not envying anybody, because all the things that are made of the dust are only dust and remain as dust. It is only the word in you that empowers you to be the powerhouse that God is and that you can be with him. Glory, Oh man, this is truth and you cannot deny it. Okay? So that's the understanding that I'm trying to convey to you. So if you come and you let God be your governor, your mind controller, you will get into his mind. Because what he teaches is, it's not like God teaches something, teaches you to love words and he doesn't love them. What he teaches you is what he is. He's the lover of words. The lover of the dabar. Because with the dabar, he fashions everything. He knows, he names it. He calculates how it's done. He frames it. He puts it together. So if we're going to enter his fellowship, with Yud He Vav He, whose name means the work of revealing the connectivity of the living. That's the meaning of Yud He Vav He. If you're going to come into that, that's exactly what you're going to be doing. You're going to be fellowshipping with the activity of expression of his name. And that's what reality is all about. The Hebrew teaches you how things are all connected. It's a matter of understanding the order of things. That's why it's very important, my friends, that you get to understand each one of those letters and their function, because God is all about how things function, you know. And so if you come to fall in love with the Maker, 100%, you like the things that he likes. You like the order of words. You like alphabets. And you know, as long as you go, you know, he got the more life he's going to give me, the more things I want to be learning. Because I wanted to see all that the Alefbeth, all that this powerhouse of the alphabet that has created all the things that exist, everything is made from the alphabet and from the rearrangement of the alphabet. It morphs, you know. It's like a morphing is to change, it's changing to different places. You can take the alphabet and put the order in this, voila. In a certain order, you have certain observation powers, you can make computers. Then you can take the alphabet and you rearrange it in this order, and voila, you can make a refrigerator. So it's an amazing morphing power. If you remember the order, then you can just, you know, create industries, create economies, and all kinds of stuff. And not want anything of what you've created. You know, you act like all the organic things that God has made. You know, once an apple produces an apple, and he brings it out there to the tree for you to grab it, he doesn't want it back. He's just releasing it. He's sending it into the world, you know, to nourish it with all the nutrients that he has in it, just to show the completeness of God. You know, that it is the DNA that the plant treasures, that it was made to be with such perfection to give away all and to duplicate and replicate itself. You know, we have that capacity in ourselves. So the whole reason I'm telling you this is because all kinds of people are worrying right now, and you know, about for example, with this election. I joined a group called, you know, Stop the Steal. And it's just called that way. Because you know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in stopping the steal of what's been going on for ages. That we've been giving the value, external things, value to external things. Value is only found in the alphabet, in the representation of the alphabet. Because first of all, if you learn it from the Torah, you learn the mindset of God. And that's the best way to start. Because you learn to love words and you understand that that fifth book of the Bible, Deuteronomy is called in English, but it's Hadabarim, which means the words or the things, because both are synonymous. When you have the word, you have the thing. When you work for a company and you only have the words, you also have the thing, because you know how to manufacture the product and service. So by having the words, you also have the things. But you don't have, you know, an attachment, no attachabilities to the things. The things are for your fellow man. Every industry, every corporation wants to just clear their inventory. They don't want to hold onto the things. They want to have somebody that doesn't know how to make them, for them to inherit that. But every company wants to clear their inventory, sell everything off. They don't want to hold onto the things. They hold onto the words because the words makes the things. All right? The word is the real treasure. It is the reality of every product and service. All the companies know that. Yet we continually emphasize that people have to get the things. And by the things, I mean the physical reflection of it. Okay? So with God, there's no difference like that, because if the word is not there, the thing is just going to be used, consumed, and abused. It's going to disappear. But if the word is in the soul of a person, anything that is said out there is going to be renewed, restored, refreshed, and it's going to be kept going, you know, for perpetuity, for as long as you're around. You're going to make life simple for your fellow men. So that is our heritage. So that's why you start with that. And when you start with God being your only governor, then everything that you learn, you just bring value. You know, a lot of people say, I don't like to go to work because I'm making my boss rich. Think of what you say. You have the ability to make somebody rich. That means you're richer than that person. That's what the power of the powerhouse is. Because the reality is what you know is what creates the product, what creates the service. And that is more real than the product or service leaving your hands. Because you are the cornucopia that makes it happen over and over again. You're the cornucopia of abundance. You are the land of Shangri-La. Okay? That comes out of you. Okay? So the thing is, you have not to think that there's anything, you know, it's just that this world has been programmed to think that once comes out of you has more value. And that's the constant thing that God had against his people, you know. These people worship the work of their hands. In other words, they made something, whether it was an idol or whatever other thing, and then they worship it like if they needed to depend on it. and then they pray to it like it did something for them. You made it with your own hands. How can you both bow down and think that you need it for something else? That thing needs you. You never need anything that has been manufactured by you. So those of you that want to help the president, you say, it's not fair to think that just the president, it seems like he has a good heart, because he has spent a lot of money just to do the best for what he can. He has his own personality. That people have problems with that, but that's his personality, and he's open to his personality. He's not hiding it, right? But it seems like he's concerned. But the thing is, to trust one man who seems to be honest enough to want to do the right thing, that means you have to commit yourself to understand that America is found in its constitutions, in the writings of the fathers of this country. The powerhouses, Alefbeth, the fathers, the powerhouses that founded. You have to go back and read the Constitution. If you don't know the Constitution, you already lost your country. If you don't know the Bill of Rights, you already lost your country. Nobody has stolen it from you. You stole it from yourself, because you don't realize that the reality of everything, whether it be a nation, is found in its Constitution and its writings. You got to abide by them. If you forget about them, then somebody else will walk all over you, and you will never know when people have trampled, the protection of your rights that's being protected by the Constitution. You will never know that. So nobody will steal anything from you. The moment you forget that the reality of everything lies in the word that says what a country represents, you already lost that country. And somebody else can come and take it away from you. So you got to realize that it's up to each one of you. I'm not a citizen of this country. I'm here as a permanent resident, but nonetheless, I worked for the asylum office. I work for the immigration. I work for the citizenship, translating the U.S. citizen test. So I know all the stuff. I had to learn that because my job required it. So even though I did not want to be a citizen, and that's the reason, because I am only a citizen of the land of the Torah. Okay? That is my only citizenship and only my allegiance to. Because I just want to love what God loves. I want to understand what he understands. I just want to see the words from the perspective from which he sees them. And only the Torah teaches me that. And once I'm in that, I'm satisfied with that. I'm only here not to attach myself to anything, but to anything that comes to my hand. If I can make it better, I'll make it better. But I will not hold on to anything. I will not attach myself to anything. I will learn whatever is necessary to make the life of my fellow man the easiest life possible. I'll do the most for mankind while getting the least from them, because that's the empowerment that you get from the powerhouse of the Alefbeth. You understand? That's why when you're within, you only love words, and that's your only reality. Nobody can take anything from you. You can be in the direst and worst conditions that you don't wish anybody else to be, and you can thrive and still be the leader there. Look at Daniel, was taken into captivity. The age of 12 or 13, that's when they become the bar mitzvah, the sons, of the command, because the Jewish people are called the people of the book, because the book is their land, that's what they keep. And so he went there. They castrated him, because if you're going to work for the king, they don't trust you. The concubines of the wives, they have to castrate, so they castrated him, that you don't know, having no balls, and no penis. That's what castration means. So he had to be castrated at a very early age. But nonetheless, he was not subjected to the diet of the king. So he did not join the Food and Drug Administration, the program that the king had. He ate kosher while he was taught in the Torah. So that's one way that governments control you. When you allow them to tell you what you need to eat, that's it, my friends. That means they'll have the power to make sure you get sick seasonally. You get your flu, sickness, you get everything in a season. They'll know how many people are going to be dying out of cancer, how many people are going to get heart attacks, how many people are going to be diabetic. They set up the whole thing so that they can make merchandise out of you. Because the people that do not follow the Torah, they make everything so they can make business out of your necessities. They have to put you in a situation in which you're weak, you're diseased, so you can come back to them. And so therefore, they give you the food that weakens you, and then the drug that's going to make you feel better. But that drug creates another side effect on the roller coaster. And and the thing just goes on. The vicious cycle goes on and on. That's how governments live, because they have to depend on your weakness, because that's how they make themselves relevant. And so you understand they have to make you sick, because they're not your makers. They only know how to live by giving the illusion that they are there to provide something for you. But that's why, for example, I said a couple of people that I need that I can eliminate all the FDA, because those are the only ones I've been following since 2003. I have not gotten any flu sickness. I don't get any vaccination shots. I only drink distilled water. I try to keep it alkaline by eating fruits and vegetables. You keep my body alkaline, therefore I don't get no seasonal flu, quote unquote. I don't need any of that because I don't follow the FDA. And so it was with Daniel. He was there in Babylon. He did not follow the diet of the king. Everybody else was eating whatever the king was offering, all the good stuff, but not him. And neither did his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They stay kosher. They stay to the diet. So eventually, they were leaders, even though they were in exile there. At the end of the day, it was Daniel who was telling the king how to run the show. Whenever he wanted to, he was telling how things were going to be done according to God, or he wasn't going to have a kingdom. And eventually, the king ended up paying attention to him. So what happened? Daniel was a powerhouse in Babylon. He was the one, that the bar in him was the one leading that kingdom that thought it was in control of everything. He had the dream of the external value of the head of gold. All that is crashing down right now because I've understood that the external value system has been completely demolished in me, so I don't hold the same values for that thing anymore. And therefore, I can teach it to you. And that's what it's coming down to, and that's what I'm trying to share with you here. So, let me see. So that's the whole idea. So you learn for God to be the one that controls your mind, because when you love words, then you realize that that's the reality lies there. And then everybody else that's coming along and is trying to mesmerize you. No, you have to have this house, you have to have all of that, And that's the thing, You understand that since the day of the people that came out of Egypt, in Egypt, the word Pharaoh meant great house, which means the powerhouse. Just like all nations have a great house. Now we have the White House that represents our government. And all nations have a house, a government house that represents the house. So all nations have copies from the day of Pharaoh. Pharaoh literally means great house. So that was the powerhouse. And whoever was in charge of that house, he took the title of the house. He was called the Pharaoh. He was called the great house. And he was the head of state and the head of the religious affair, because they had combined everything there together. Religion and government were together, because usually the governments were deified and, and believed to be gods, and that was the tendency, because people are not following their creator, so they're subjected to mankind. So you abandon God. God from the Torah is not going to control you. He's not going to be the one giving you his heart to love all words and see the reality of everything in words. Then everybody else that comes after him is going to make you be bound to the little things in this dusty world, for you to be attached to the dust and mire and the mud and everything that, goes back to the dust. And so that's how they keep you. And these people, they make you work for all the plants. God did not make you work for the apple tree, did not make you work for the plants, for the pear plant or any other plants. But if you go with the retarded gardener, you have to make their plants. You have to wrap their products. You have to distribute their products. You have to do a lot of things, because you become the cell, the power plant. So you are a power cell, or you are a power plant in the sense that you energize and you do things, you understand words, and you are word driven. Okay, first is the word that empowers, because you have been able to understand. So you are word driven, but you're driven in three ways. You are word power, and you are also solar power, because the Bible says the entrance of the bar of thy word, which is the first thing that happens when you understand. Give it light. It's like sunlight. Give it energy. So now you are being sun power. Okay, the bar comes, enters your mind, then that becomes light, and now that light is transformed into spirit, then becomes ruach, because when you start speaking and says the entrance of the word give it light, which is understanding unto the simple. Understanding what the word is saying is light, because you know what's going on. And then saying it, that's the manifestation of the spirit, because the saying is the ruach. And ruach is resh in the head, connectedness, and then het, and the het for defense or secure. So it's the secure connectedness of the head. Because when you speak what you understand, you are speaking something that is the secure connectedness of the head. That's what ruach means. Okay? That's the function of it. Once the word comes and there's understanding of what's given, then you give the word, which is the secure connectedness of what you understood in your mind. That's what the ruach means. Resh, vav, het. Het. Yeah. So the secure connectedness of the head or the mindset. So you understand? So you see how it works? So that's, which is, we are also wind driven, right? Wind energy. So there's wind power, there's solar power, and the bar power. When the bar starts, the bar converts that into a solar power. That solar power is converted into the ruach, into the resh. And that's how we are driven. That's how every soul of mankind is controlled. Through those three. So we are word powered, solar power, which is the light power, and we are ruach power, which is the wind power. Okay? And that's how the wind moves up on the face of the waters, once we have an understanding and we can form things, out of this goyim, which is the career of the seas, which is the word for nations, okay? The seas of solutions, the career of solutions, okay? And so, once you understand, once you understand the hero, my friends, you don't go down, to the level of trying to attach. There's no attachability. You don't attach to anything in this world. You're only here to make everything be there for the abundance of things. So there's no war like that, And so it was, Daniel was there. He didn't have to worry about what to eat. Everything was provided for him. He was just there to interpret what God would have him interpret when he needs to be interpreted. If the king had a weird dream, he will interpret, give the right interpretation, got promoted. He was doing the work of God and enjoying the Alefbeth. That was the glory of Daniel. The seed of David, by the way, okay? So you understand, my friend? So, and he lived through that kingdom and through the Persian kingdom and through three dynasties that he did. And his only joy was the powerhouse, the strong tower. And that's what I want you to be, okay? The strong tower. All right, so let me try to sing this song since I'm all encouraged here. This Song of Solomon 2:16. My beloved is mine and I am his. Oh, oh, my beloved is mine and I am his. Oh, oh, my beloved is mine and I am his. Oh, oh, my beloved is mine and I am his. He feedeth me among the lilies. Song of Solomon 2:16. And he feedeth me among the lilies. Song of Solomon 2:16. I'm Alefbethising the Father in me to strongly secure every system I see. I'm Alefbethisizing the Father in me to strongly safeguard systems that I can see. I'm Alefbethizing the Father in me to strongly safeguard systems that I can see. I'm Alefbethizing the Father in me to strongly safeguard systems that I can see. Is the decising the Father in me. To a strongly saved God system that I can see. I'm a little decising the Father in me. To a strongly saved God system that I can see. I'm a little decising the Father in me. To a strongly saved God system that I can see. I'm a little decising the Father in me. Through a strongly saved God system that I can see. Understand? This is a song of being complete. To understand that I call you the Barians because the bar means word. And that's Dalet Beth Resh, which means the administration of the economy. So I call you the Barian, and the Barian administration of the economy, it means you are economist. You create economies. If you love words, that's what you do. You create economies and you empower economies, okay? And it means you are word power. You're powered by the word. First of all, to understand the mindset of the maker and the love for all words, that everything is concentrated for that. God only holds on to words and the orders of words. That's all he does. That's the only reality there is. That's the only way that he can convey his mindset. And that's the only way that our own nations can make something, they have to use, but they have to deceive you to think that they have to use you as a powerhouse, and that's the reason why I shared earlier that what caused me to think this, and I'm going to play it again this time right now, see if we can watch it. And I'm going to share my mic for this, I suppose. Yeah, because I cannot put it into the thing, but here it goes. Let me play this little commercial again from the Matrix to understand what led me to call this the powerhouse, and refer to the Alefbeth as the powerhouse, okay? But before I say it, let me tell you the definitions of the powerhouse here that I found. Here it goes. Powerhouse definitions. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Powerhouse definitions. The definition of a powerhouse is a powerful or energetic person or a building that creates electric power. Okay, so that's the first thing you create. You have power to, your energy. That's why I say all the gardens, the retarded gardens are run by manpower. I mean, your energy that you have runs it. Says, so there's the one that possesses great force or energy. She is an editorial powerhouse. That's a way of using that word there. It says a power plant. That's another explanation of using it. A building where electric power is generated. A powerful person, team, etc. So it's a fourth generation. That's also a language, also a unicorn global language called Powerhouse. It's a computer language as well. So this you can get the different ideas of what a powerhouse. So it's a very, and people that are influencers, they can also be known as powerhouse. Administrators, people that are movers and shakers. Let me see if I have another definition here from another source. There's another one here. Powerhouse from the Cambridge Dictionary. We have a country, organization, or person with a lot of influence, power, or energy. So it's important that you get influencers that are only influenced by the Torah, because everybody else that wants the applause I don't need the applause of anybody, because you understand. You see, my delight is to see. My delight is to know that the Torah and the Alefbeth runs everything, even in the hearts of kings. That's why the heart of the king is in the heart of the Lord. It says, and he runs it like he runs the rivers. So he is the Alefbeth that's running behind the scenes and everything. It's just like when you see a movie and all kinds of things happen. The bad guys doing this. All of that's a script. It's just following a script. It's following a whole alphabet. Okay, and it's a whole story written by one guy usually. Directed by many. Usually it's one guy that came up with the whole idea. A good character, bad guys, and everything comes from one guy. All right? So all of creation is run by that. God has the script for everything. Okay? And he has made each one of us capable of having certain observational abilities, so we can observe certain things and we can create certain things according to the capacity that God put in us. But he is the one that gets that alphabet rolling, and he has the script for everything. He is the writer of all things. So that's why you got to sit still and watch the movie that God wrote. Be still and know that I am the governing operations director. I am God. Be still. Just watch the whole show, Enjoy him. And so when you're in the love of words, nothing scares you. Because your life is the life of God. You're connected to him. His body of confession. The divine body is your body of words. That's the body you get to take with you. You inherit a body of words when you come here, the body of confession, and that's the body that stays with you forever. This body of the dust, you can even hold it here. Every 7 years, you got to go to a brand new set of cells, because everything is circulating on a day basis. So, but words, your body of confession, words are divine. They come from divinity. The flesh is of the dust. It comes from the earth, from the ground. So it goes back to the ground. It keeps going to the ground. Every 7 years, every day you drop in dry cells and picking up new ones from the stuff you eat. So the dust is of the dust. Okay? Okay. All right, my friend. I'll do that. All right. So you understand? So the thing is, these things are happening, like this. So I'm saying, so we need to have that understanding. All right, that we are not, here to be attached to anything of this world. We are here just to be one with the mindset of God, and therefore, our life is secure, because God knows He is the one that's the perpetuator of everything. Then you enter into your rest. You enter into what's your true heritage. Okay, so now let me give you the portion I was talking about here. Let me get this 1 second. Here we go. Okay, let me put you guys back on the screen here. See how's everything going here. All right. All right, so we have a few amount of people here. Nina Carpenter. Okay. You're learning the... It is a picture language. That's correct, Nina. It's good to have you here. Nina, I see you. Yes, it is a pictorial language. Correct. And we got to learn that so we can enter into the mindset of the Father and abide there. Correct. So now let me show you here something. From the Matrix, they show you this thing, but they just don't want you to see, and they tell you the truth in there, but they don't make you get the whole understanding. And so that's why I'm saying that in Hosea 4:6 it says, my people are destroyed, and that word destroy in the Hebrew, let me see if I can get you to that first before I show you the movie. Okay, the word destroy, here we go. My people is Am, which is, the Am of Israel, the nations of people is Am, and it's made from the I am and the mem for solutions. The waters are solutions, and the ayin is the I. So the observance of the solutions, that's what am means. The people are observing the solutions, because that's what you're supposed to do. But my people are, then the Hebrew for destroy is here, which means DAMAH. Daleth, mem, and he. Daleth, mem, and he. And it means here to be dumb or to be made silenced, to be put to silence. And that's So you're as good as a dumb. That's why people are wearing the thing. It's just a manifestation of what they are, because they have no knowledge of the Maker. They have no knowledge. They don't understand any words is the reality of things. They have not learned the Constitution. So when all these leaders are trampling the rights that the Constitution say they have, they don't know. They just think that they meant the best for them. Okay? So that's why they don't have anything to say. So my people are left silent. They're left dumbfounded. They're left quieted. They're made quieted because they lack knowledge. It doesn't say because they lack faith or they lack belief. He will give them pastors that will feed them with knowledge and understanding. That's what it says, in Jeremiah. So that's what you need to get. You need to get somebody that will feed you with knowledge and understanding, will make you to see the power of words and establish you as a powerhouse, okay? Like your Maker is a powerhouse, and therefore you're a powerhouse to everything, to your job place, to your society, to the country that you reside in. Like I say, I'm not a citizen here, but I know the stuff because my job requires me to learn these things. So I learned about the Constitution and all that, and I'm in this country, so it doesn't hurt anyhow. So I knew right away when the people are trampling over your rights. But if you want to retain this country, you got to go like that. So you are made dumb or quiet. What's the word? Destroyed. DAMAH. You are, because you're as good as dead anyhow, because you don't have the knowledge, you don't have anything to say. Somebody else is going to control you. So my people are DAMAH, which means made dumb or quiet, because they lack, okay, and they lack knowledge, and that's da'at, knowledge, okay? So you got to understand how things are, you got to understand the order of things, and so therefore, when you know that, then you know when people want to take advantage of you or not giving you your due respect, for who God created you, and then you can put them in their place. So I'm going to play this little thing from the Matrix here, and at the end I want to talk about this because that's what prompted me to call this the Powerhouse when I refer to the strong tower, because in the days of David, a strong tower was the place where the tower where they save all the arsenal, and the strong means like what's in the back of there. You understand, in the back, in the back all the way to the top, that's the head of the ox. That's for strong, powerful, firm, powerful, strong, and then the Beth right next to it is a house. There's a tower or the floor plan. So a strong tower, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, means Alefbeth. That's father in the pictorial. So when the David is when it's being said by Solomon in Proverbs 18:10, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, mean Alefbeth. That means the ox and the house put together, a strong tower. In our time, the best way to look at it is, and the righteous run into it and are safe, because that was the arsenal where all the weapons are kept and the whole city is kept safe, right? So now we have the powerhouse, we can call it. It could be the powerhouse. And power refers to the personality of a person that is determined and gets into the movers and the shakers and stuff like that. So that's why I like, for our time and our generation, powerhouse, still the pictorial. The Aleph is power, and Aleph and El is God in Hebrew, which means powers. The translation of Elohim means powers, right? So that's the whole thing. So that's what we're looking at here. So now once you know that, then you will know when people are not respecting you the way that Hebrew expects you to be respected from your Maker. So let me play this from your perspective now. Let me put this here and let me play this, and I'm quiet because I gotta let you hear it through my mic. Here we go.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole.
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neil?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
All right. So there you see, that's what got me to think. Because in this movie, they try to tell you that, you know, that we only serve like the energy, like the battery runs the system. Because everything in the retarded garden, I mean, by things that are not the organic garden, like the plant and the insects and all of that, they are self-replicating and self-duplicating. They don't need us for us to work for them to, you know, to duplicate themselves. They are fruitful and they multiply. You know, that's the power they have. But in the retarded garden, we have to build everything from the ground up. All the man-made plants, we have to do the ceilings, we have to do the ground floor, we have to do everything. Okay, so when it comes to that, you know, then you realize that everything in a retarded society, that means not directly made by God, but it's coming from the mindset of the so-called creators and entrepreneurs in this world. They need manpower. They need us. All right? And so we are the power by which all the economies run. Okay? So therefore, because we are the energy, then you realize when he's saying in this little clip here, when he's saying, you know, that we're just a battery, then he should have thought, so if I'm a battery, that means I am the one that brings good things to life, like General Electric, you know. We bring good things to life because they are the ones that animate, you know, they bring the lights and everything, and animates all the machines and everything. That means that you are the animator and activator, okay? So where's my due respect for that, you know? So the thing is, if they tell you that you're a battery, but the thing is, you are a powerful battery. That's why you call a powerhouse. That's why I call you a powerhouse. Because imagine a battery that when it's getting low, it goes charged by itself. You don't have to tell it, just itself, you know. And then when it's gonna really die, it just makes another one. So that's what we do with ourselves. You know, when we're feeling weak, we go and eat something. Nobody has to tell us anything. We have to be strong to go work for the company so we can supply food for the family. All these things. We are this energy, these activators, these animators of these gardens that man-made has made. But at no time do we make them be something that we need to worship. That's something for you to enjoy all that the Alefbeth is capable of doing, you know, in all situations in life. All right? And that's what we're here for, okay? So understand, so he was pointing to this, and that's supposed to be the meaning, right? It's supposed to be like, you're just going to be no, that's it. You got to understand that's what runs everything, okay? If you are not the energy, society doesn't move. Okay, so what they have is what I call, they have the way of understanding. You are the value generating entity. You understand? Because you have to get the job done. You know, so the elites of the people in the world will have you believe that there's a place called the patent office. You know, and patent from Latin, you know, pater, which means father, and patent just means by fathering. This is an office that will get the genius of your idea, you know, the child that's going to make you rich. This is the baby that's going to make me rich, said somebody when they write a manual or a schematics or a blueprint. I know they have an idea, and they take it to the patent office, and they will have the whole world believe that this patent gives exclusivity rights, and those exclusivity rights is what brings value to your product. And therefore, they can sue anybody that wants to take away, you know, and take away the intellectual property that they have come up with. And so they have all these things. And this is only a facade, because just by keeping that knowledge safeguarded in a patent office, the business doesn't get off the ground. Nothing gets done. The services are not run. The products are not rendered. It is only when you take a soul that is word power, that is divine power, and you put the word in that soul, that then your business gets off the ground, then your services are done. So the soul with the Alefbeth is a value generating entity. And anybody that makes you believe that value resides outside of you has lied to you. It has happened from the days of Mizraim, from the days of Egypt. It has happened from the days of Babylon, from the statue of gold. All the external value has been an illusion that's been given to you because you have forsaken. Because forsaken of the Alefbeth is above all things. He's the head above all things. When you forsake that, then you lose your value because you lost your way. And that's why all the elites have taken advantage of you and only use all your energy. And you have been feeling like nothing. You have not been recognized. You've been feeling like dirt because dust thou art, dust shalt thou return. You inherit the value of the dirt. The dirt can only make things happen, can only make the plants come up. So you act like that. You wonder why people treat me like dirt. Because dust you are, and the dust shall thou return. You know, if you're just going to be dirt, people are going to use you to erect their man-made plants. And out of your energy, out of your power, all these things are going to be created. And when people just going to walk along me. That's how people feel in their job. People just walk along me, they recognize me. I feel like dirt. That's the curse that you get for abandoning the mindset. The Reshit, the female head, the head of wisdom. Reshit means the female head. You know, but Reshit is in the female head. That's the literal translation of that. And that what Solomon calls, you know, wisdom, or Hokam, is the principal thing. The word principal thing is Reshit. So wisdom is the female head. So the whole book of Proverbs is dedicated to that. To wisdom. You know, to Reshit. Because the wisdom was there in the foundations of the earth, making the heavens and the earth. That's the Reshit. Okay, the wisdom of God is represented by a female head. All right, so all these things are hidden there. The treasures are hidden there, but you got to get into the Alefbeth to understanding, and then you know your heritage, and then nobody can easily do so. You understand? That's why I decided to call this the Powerhouse for our time. That's the best way to get the mindset of the whole of the Father. Okay, so if you recognize that He is the Powerhouse, because the alphabet, everything is made out from the alphabet, although it's called Alefbeth, and it's the rearrangement. Everything that's out there is just rearrangements of that. You know, and when you arrange it, then you can make something. You can make a computer from a different motor of the Alefbeth. For the Torah, you need 304,805 combinations of the Hebrew character. When you get 304,805 letters, you have the whole Torah from Genesis to Deuteronomy, okay, to that, or the Hadabarim, the words or the things. And that's all that it takes to feed your soul. He only gave you that combination, that sequence of 304,805 in Hebrew sequence for you to be fed with your soul. And as a signature that He created, that He who made this world of flesh, because He created for this world, you know, according to, I forget the name of the guy right now, but the guy that wrote, you know, The Nature of Crops, that he studied, you know, the botanist, he studied there's about an average of about 400,000 plants in the all of creation, 400,000, okay? And he says, of those 400,000, about 300,000, that's what he said, about 300,000 are edible. What are the odds, if you think, that of the 400,000, 300,000 of them are edible for the flesh? In other words, the flesh can profit out of it. But also, in the whole Torah, 304,805 letters are what is edible for our soul to understand the mindset and the Reshit of God. What are the odds? That was the amount of letters that is the garden to feed our soul with the presence of our Maker. Is the same amount of trees. Each tree representing each letter. But to me, yes, each letter with a tree to represent the longevity of our body. But the thing is this. All the economies of the world just make sure that of those 300,000 edible plants, you only get 200 of them, you know, to go in circulation and not done and replenished every day. And out of those 200, most people don't even eat about 200 vegetables and fruits. I mean, about 25. You know, so that's why you're sick. That's why you're easily, you know, susceptible to all kinds of diseases. Because all the nations make sure that you do not thrive in the best of your health so they can control you. Okay, so that's why you need to inherit the understanding of the Hebrew. Because only in the Hebrew that you see the pictorial and as you see everything. Like I told you, the Alefbeth is a strong tower, okay? And everybody, when you look, in the background, and let me see if I can get out of this one and show you another window without anything in front of me. Let me get out of this here. Okay. Let me see if I can get this one out. I'll show you a window with nothing. Okay, there you are. But I want to show you the one with the buildings in the background. Once you can see it. Okay, there's some buildings in the back. Houses and some buildings on the way in the background. I'm sorry I cannot take these things out of the way. But the whole idea here is that everybody likes a house. A place where they can live. So the whole thing of the business of real estate, for example, the whole real estate is a house. It's a strong tower. It's a place for the family to live. And they call it real estate because that's the real treasure that they have to hold on to, the real treasure and the assets of it. So the thing is, everything is called real, but the reality is your real house, your real estate for your soul is the Alefbeth, it's a strong tower, it's the alphabet of heaven, okay? And that's why I try to do. So when you understand Hebrew, then you understand that the soul is driven to these pictures and it creates them in this world, and it's somehow driven to have those things. Because that's the real language, the original language from which everything was made. And I told you, Ab means father, Abba, because that's the natural way for a child to speak. The first thing that the child comes out speaking is Hebrew. Because the word for mom is A-M, Aleph and Mem, which means strong solutions, and Aleph Bab, which is strong tower. So the two things that the baby says, Abba, Bab, Mam, 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 that naturally flows out. That's why it's out of the mouth of babes. That was perfected praise, because the soul comes with Hebrew, naturally implanted in it. All right. So these are the things I wanted to share to you today, little things to encourage us, to stay firm. And I'm going to be teaching you more about the Powerhouse, because that's why I'm calling the Alefbeth now, because it is a powerhouse. And you understand, to keep you there and to keep you enthused about your heritage. That's our heritage forever, for all seasons. All right, so I'm just going to stop here because I wasn't thinking of going this long. I just wanted to continue from this morning. But I'm glad to have some of you here today. And let me see. So let me see who else was here today. And I'm encouraged. Gloria a Dios. Oh, señora Patricia Fisher. Qué buena verla, qué buena verla. Powerhouse, make power moves. Yes. All right, it's good to have you guys here. All right. All right, movers and shakers, exactly. Okay. Yes, yeah, Brian, you're right. He is the writer, director, and producer. This whole thing is his theater. Exactly, And when you are the lover of words and lover of his word, you get to see it and you get to enjoy it, So praise the maker of heaven for all of that, So this is wonderful to have you guys here today. So I love each and every one of you, And let me close here with a little commercial. And because I got to get some short-eye today. I've been up doing a lot of stuff. And I got to put this on YouTube as ready. We'll see if I can get to do it tonight. But it was a pleasure to be here serving you the word today. Let me see if I can put a story here. So here we go. We're finished with this one.